And it is again that time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. It is New Japan Wrestle Kingdom season. And this year is New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 19. Of course, today is that show. Tomorrow is the Wrestle Dynasty. It's a big weekend. And Monday is Raw on Netflix. It's a huge, huge weekend here of pro wrestling. And it starts off the right way. Just a quick caveat, guys. I am trying to make my videos shorter. I feel they might be too long, and that is maybe scaring people away from wanting to commit to a half an hour, 45-minute video. That's just how it is. So I'm going to try and get it shorter and shorter and shorter as we go along with the videos. But obviously, something like a Wrestle Kingdom, there's a lot of matches, and the matches are long, so it's going to take a bit of time. I'm not going to do as much play-by-play as I used to. I'm probably just going to talk about some of the key moments, and then my opinions on the matches. If this makes the videos a lot shorter, let me know what you guys think, if you prefer it this way or if you prefer it the other way, and then we'll go from there. So with that being said, let's get straight into the damn show. The very first match of the night was a tag team ladder match between the Intergalactic Jet Setters, which is Kevin Knight and Kushida. They are the champions, as they took on Catch 22, which is Akira and TJP, and then they took on Ichiban Sweets Boys, which is Fujita and Robbie Eagles, of course, of TMDK. And then we got Bullet Club War Dogs, which is Clark Connor and Drilla Maloney, my favorite tag team in this division. But I did not want them to win the tag titles. I wanted, well, the people that won it, Fujita and Robbie Eagles, to win the tag titles, because out of the couple years that I've been watching Wrestle Kingdom specifically, it's always been the same tag teams, especially the last 2 years, I think. And I think a change is needed, and that is what we got here with Fujita and Robbie Eagles. A change, as they won the tag team titles. Now, going into this match, I was super ready for the chaos and the absolute spot fest that this match was going to be, and that is what it was. Like, I expected nothing less. We know Wrestle Kingdom starts off with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles every year, and it is supposed to kick the crowd off and get the crowd excited. This match probably did its job. But I'll be honest, I did not enjoy this match that much. I thought it was alright, thought it was decent, but a lot was missing from this match. And maybe it was execution that was missing, or maybe a bit of simplicity that was missing. I'm not sure. So like I said, I'm only going to focus on the big spots, especially for this match. But there was a spot where Drilla Maloney was trying to land his Driller Killer through like a slanted table out at ringside. Missed that completely. Like, slipped off the table basically and landed it on the floor. Did not look good whatsoever because the table was perfectly fine. So that was slightly disappointing. I thought, okay, it happens, but what were you expecting? This is not WWE tables. This is Japan tables. These things don't break. These things are smaller. They are thinner. You can't just do that spot for the sake of it. Like, it wasn't going to work. Think a little bit, guys. So that wasn't quite great. So Akira then gets on top of TJP's shoulders, and then he lands like a senton through the table, taking out Drilla Maloney shortly afterwards. I wrote here, it's the setup for a lot of these moves and these spots felt sloppy. They were not good. It took them a long time. You could see when someone took a forearm, they were like purposely jumping onto the table so that they could get ready for a spot, purposely jumping onto the ladder. And it did not look good whatsoever. You should be taking the guy out to the point where you can put him on the steps, put him on the ladder, put him on the table, not just let him roll onto it because you hit him with one forearm. That was it took me out of it because it was happening far too often, you know. So then Robbie Eagles lands a 450 onto Clark Connors while Clark Connors is on like a bridged ladder, but the ladder doesn't break. Then Robbie Eagles climbs the ladder. He's about to grab the titles, but TJP mists in his face, so spits the mist in his face, and then sends him through the bridge ladder with like, at first it looked like it was going to be inverted DDT, but then he turns it into like a crossbody type thing. Pretty cool. Ladder broke. That was well done. Then the Intergalactic Jet Setters tried to land the perfect timing with Kevin Knight on top of the ladder jumping down, but he didn't get all of it. It didn't look good. It was maybe asking for too much. It was maybe too dangerous, so they tried to be over safe. This is why I say maybe they should have just kept it simple in this match. I don't want to use the word botched. I do use it, but I don't want to use it because it's just things didn't work out the way they should have. Honestly, yeah, some of it did not look good. Then TMDK and United Empire, so both sets of teammates fighting on top of the ladders, each on their own ladder, and then it ends up being, after the others fall down, just Fujita and Akira. And then Fujita locks in Akira into a dragon sleep on top of the ladder. Basically puts him to sleep, hits him, eventually grabs the title with a bit of struggle, but eventually grabs the titles, and they have won tag team gold. They are the new champions. And like I said, this was disappointing. The heights these men could have reached, the heights this match could have reached, were far higher than what they hit. They should have just simplified things and kept it to the basics. Do the ladder moves, do the high spots, but I think some of them were just too far out of their reach, and that's disappointing. Yes, they put their body on the lines for our entertainment, and that is appreciated, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Just doesn't work out. The right tag team won. That is what counts at the end of the day. And I gave this match 2.75 stars. And I know a lot of you are going to think that is really, really harsh. But I just know what they could have done. And this is not what they could have done. This was way below par. Way too many errors. Way too much sloppiness. And unfortunately, it is what it is. Our next match was Mayu Iwatani, the current IWGP Women's Champion, taking on Azime, or it's spelled AZM, but Azime, for obviously the IWGP Women's Championship. And I was expecting good things from this match. Good things. So the match starts at 100 miles per hour as expected. If you've ever watched a Stardom match, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just straight into counter wrestling, straight into running the ropes. Really, really, really quick, fast-paced action. Azime then takes a huge dive onto the top rope, over the turnbuckle, so that way out of the ring, to the outside. Really, really nice spot from Azime. Mayu then comes back into the ring. She lands a frog splash from the top rope and gets a 2 count on Azime. Azime then lands a double stomp from the true void position, goes back up top and lands like a coup de grace double stomp off the top rope, but also only manages to get a 2 count. Then we get some counter wrestling, which ends up with a Canadian Destroyer by Azime to Mayu. She then follows that up with, honestly, this might be the nastiest move I've ever seen in my life. It's like a Destroyer, but she hooks the arms, like Pedigree hooks the arms, but then a Destroyer. Crazy. I don't know what it is called, but it is absolutely insane. Azime then goes for a head scissors, but Mayu catches her and lands it a tombstone. So she catches her, drops the tombstone, goes up, lands the moonsault, and you think this is it, it's done. But Azime somehow kicks out, and I thought this is it now. This is Azume's time to win. This is her moment. But no, after some action back and forth, Mayu lands a dragon suplex, bridges it, 1, 2, 3, gets the win. Me personally, I wanted Azime to get the win. I don't know why, I just wanted her to win. I haven't watched enough Stardom to really know. But I just felt maybe it was her time. That's what I thought. Because I know, I think Mayu beat Julia for the title. Or was it someone else in between? I'm not sure now. I can't really remember. But, yeah. So, I think it would have been time for a change. But, like I said, I haven't watched enough Stardom. So, I can't really comment. Very good match, nonetheless. Fast-paced. Big moves being hit. Like I said, I'm not sure if the right person won. But great stuff. The only disappointing part, and I have to call this out, 10-minute match. And I think this happened last year, and I'm not sure if it was the year before. I'm not sure if this is the 3rd or 2nd year of this title being on the card. But again, short match for no reason. These women can do 15, 20 minutes. You don't need to give them a 10-minute match on this card. I could have taken 20 minutes off the main event and given it to these two. We'll get to that. And give it to these two. I really could have. Nonetheless, great match. 4 stars, guys. 4 stars for this match. It was really, really good. If they had more time, I could have given it more. I really thought it was fun. It was fast-paced. They didn't waste movements. They didn't waste time. Really, really good stuff. We then moved on to Ren Narita, the current New Japan Television Champion, taking on Phantasmo, Jeff Cobb, and Ryohei Oiwa. Hopefully I got that right. I struggle. You guys know from the last one, I struggle with that name. Anyway, this is for the New Japan World Television Championship. Let's get into it. So the match starts with the 2 powerhouses basically taking control of the ring. And they exchange shoulder barges and forearms. And that is until Narita comes in and then breaks things up. So it was basically just Cobb and Oiwa just going at it until Narita finally came in and broke things up. This match was one of those matches where nobody could really build any momentum because it was a four-way match. It was constant, just you do something, I do something, you do something, I do something. That's what it kind of was. And you do something, I break it up. And that did get a bit tiresome at times, I will be honest, but it wasn't too bad. Jeff Cobb dived to the outside, like over the ring ropes. I haven't seen him do that. If he has, he does it on very special occasions, and maybe I just don't remember. But really, really cool stuff there. There was a huge Tower of Doom, which featured Oiwa, Cobb, and El Phantasmo. Of course, Narita avoiding all of these types of things, as he would. Jeff Cobb then lands an F5000, as he likes to call it, on El Phantasmo and goes for the pin, but Oiwa breaks up the pin. Oiwa then lands his gut-wrench powerbomb finisher on Cobb, but Narita pulls the ref out of the ring before the 3 count, and this is when he brings in his push-up board. This gets onto Jeff Cobb's last nerve, and he finally breaks the push-up board. Thank you for breaking that thing. Hopefully we can start getting towards the real Narita. Anyway, you'll probably find something else to use. El Phantasmo then lands the Thunder Kiss 86, which is like a springboard splash, and gets the win over Ren Narita, and we have a new champion, and it is El Phantasmo, one of my favorites in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well deserved for him. He deserves a singles push. I think he got left in the dark when Bullet Clubs kind of changed to what it was, to what it is now. And I'm glad he's found his way out of all of that, and he's now winning singles gold. So really, really great stuff. Non-stop action as you'd expect from this 4-way match. Not really filled with much story, but a lot of action, a lot of spots, and nice moment for El Phantasmo in the end. Not going to go on too much more about this match. 3.5 stars, fairly basic, pretty good, nothing to complain about. Let's leave it at that. We then had Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Evil in a lumberjack match. Going into this match, I did not want to watch this. I did not want to watch it. I didn't want to watch no knees to cut or Tanahashi walking around there. I didn't want to watch Evil walking around there doing absolutely nothing. I did not want to see this match. But this match absolutely surprised me. This match surprised me so much. I have to apologize to both these men. I really do. Honestly, great stuff. So, early on in the match, after a little back and forth action, Evil sends Tanahashi to the outside where the House of Black do their thing, and they start attacking him. They're the lumberjacks, is what it is. While the ref is distracted, Evil then puts a chair over Tanahashi and then hits the chair with another chair. You know what I'm talking about. That was an interesting spot, and at this point, I'm still very concerned about this match. At this point, I'm still like, I still don't know if I want to watch this. Tanahashi then finds a way back into the match by hitting his dragon screw, and this is when he starts making a comeback. But then the ref takes a bump, so the House of Torture just run in, get involved, take out Tanahashi. Dick Togo goes up top and hits him with dick-to-dick contact. That is a move for those that haven't watched New Japan. That is a thing, dick-to-dick contact. Yes. Tanahashi then later on gets hit with a big clothesline, but kicks out just in time and begins to fight back once again with the Dragon Suplex followed up with his patented Sling Blade. Tanahashi then goes for the Frog Splash, but then Evil pushes the ref into the ropes, forcing Tanahashi to basically fall down. Evil then lands Darkness Falls, but Tanahashi manages to kick out, or basically raise his shoulder, just in time. After a reverse STO from Evil, Tanahashi rolls up Evil, gets the 1-2-3, quick roll up, and look, the final moments of that match were really, really fun. I don't know why. I don't know why Evil impressed me. I don't know why Tanahashi impressed me, but they did. Maybe it's just because my standards were so low for this match that it really, really impressed me. I had a lot of fun watching this match. House of Torture were irritating, but not to the point of where I want to switch my TV off. They were just irritating as in being heels. It really wasn't that bad. Post-match though, the House of Torture then quickly become the House of Torture again and start attacking Tanahashi. But guess who makes the save? Katsuhori Shibata makes the save and basically gets rid of House of Torture. And gets on the mic and challenges Tanahashi to a match for tomorrow night at Wrestle Dynasty. So there's another match on Wrestle Dynasty that it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a very long night. But yeah, the story carried this match, I think. It gave me a reason to want to get interested in it. And the story being that Tanahashi, now the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, is trying to eradicate the House of Torture because, well, they're being honest. They are chasing people away from their product. This is the most honest storyline there is in pro wrestling. And it is what it is. With that being said, the in-ring work delivered, and I gave this match 3.5 stars. I am shocked. I am just as shocked as you guys probably are. But hey ho. Deserved. Let's move on to the next match. We then had Shingo Takagi, the current never openweight champion, taking on Konosuke Takeshita, the current international championship. And this is a championship versus championship match. Winner takes all. This was my main event, my personal main event going into the show. This is what the match I was most excited for. And it did not disappoint. Not by any means. So, Takeshita and Shingo trade forearms early on. And of course, Takeshita wins that exchange with his big forearm that normally knocks people down on their ass. Shingo then lands a huge Death Valley driver on the outside onto Takeshita. It looked pretty nasty. Like Takeshita's head was close to going straight into the ground. But anyway. We then followed it up a little bit later by a superplex by Shingo, which he then follows that up with a big clothesline and only gets a 2 count, unfortunately. Shingo and Takeshita then exchange various suplexes. I think Shingo went for a basic back suplex, while Takeshita then landed a German suplex, and then they both went down for a while. Takeshita then landed what commentary team called the Bastard Driver. Is that a thing? Apparently so. It's that one where they he holds him by his legs and then he drops them on the head. Does that make sense? He follows that up with a deadlift German suplex in the same position, but Shingo basically rolls up and lands with a huge lariat, that fighting spirit stuff, which did get a bit much in this match. I will be honest, it did. But I'm going to let it slide because it's Shingo Takagi. He is the BMF of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shingo then lands Made in Japan, but Takeshita kicks out at 2. I found this a thing with the latter matches, probably from about this match. A lot of finishes being kicked out of in this show. A lot of finishes being kicked out of. Where are the days of a finisher actually meaning something? Anyway, Takeshita then landed a Hurricane Rana off the top rope and a running knee, but then Shingo kicked out at 1. I'm pretty sure that running knee is like Takeshita's one of his finishes in AEW. But anyway, Takeshita then thereafter lands a Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall. Then we get double Poison Ranas by both men, and then Takeshita with a big elbow to the back of Shingo. He then follows it up with his Falcon Arrow finisher. I forget what it's called, if it's even a Falcon Arrow. It's something, it looks similar to a Falcon Arrow, and gets the win 1, 2, 3. This was a fantastic match that suited the never open weight style perfectly. Hard-hitting, fighting spirits, everything that embodies a hard-hitting Japanese style match. That's what this was. And that means Konosuke Takeshita has now become a double champion. He's now the never openweight champion as well as the AEW International Champion. He's set to face Tomohiro Ishii tomorrow night. At Dynasty, I assume for both titles. Would be pretty cool. I'm pretty sure Takeshita's going to retain the gold there, but it should be a good match. 4.25 stars, like I said, if I hadn't said it already. Very, very good match. Match of the night up to this point, but another match might have been a bit better. We'll get to that. Moving on, we then had Doku, the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, taking on El Desperado. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this match because unfortunately this match had a doctor stoppage to it. So there was a couple dives to the outside, couple bit of in-ring work, couple Irish whips into barricades, but then Doku goes for a dive over the turnbuckle. So he goes onto the 2 top ropes and then he wants to dive over the ring post to the outside. But unfortunately he lands on his elbow and on his arm, therefore breaking his arm by the looks of it. Very, very nasty stuff. Did not look good whatsoever. And unfortunately, the match was stopped right there and then. Rightfully so, stopped right then. When I say unfortunately, I mean in the grand scheme of things. Not unfortunately, it was stopped. But yeah, rightfully stopped. El Desperado is our new champion. He then cut a promo afterwards and just a in the moment promo. yeah, I didn't give this match a rating because I didn't think it was right to. Hopefully Doku recovers well. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully we'll see him back soon. And hopefully all goes well for him. We then moved on to David Finlay, the current IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, taking on Yota Tsuji. And with that match I told you about earlier, that might have been better than Takeshita and Shingo. Here it is. So, David Finlay starts off this match the aggressor, and to be honest, he was the aggressor throughout the entire match. After making a comeback though, after a little bit of attacking from David Finlay, Tsuji dives over the top rope to the outside on top of David Finlay. This doesn't last too long though, as David Finlay then lands a Uranagi through the table at ringside, and Yota Tsuji makes into the ring just at the count of 19. Obviously, New Japan, 20 counts on the outside. David Finlay then reverses a Hurricane Rana attempt on the top rope into a powerbomb, and then follows it up with 3 Dominators, but only gets a 2.99 count. That was insane power from David Finlay. He really showed how much his style has changed and how much he has changed over the years with that simple sequence that he had there. Huge running knee from Yota Tsuji, and then Finlay charges back at him straight away again and just eats another knee to the face straight down to the mat. Finlay lands a powerbomb into the corner and then one on the mat. Goes for another pin, but Yota Tsuji just gets his shoulder up in time. Tsuji then goes for a spear, but eats a gun stun from David Finlay, followed by a neckbreaker, but can't get the win. Yota Tsuji finally hits a spear. Seems like it's all over, but David Finlay gets his foot on the ropes. Fantastic. I thought it was done there. I was ready to celebrate for Yota Tsuji. Ref stopped his count. Camera pans. Foot is on the ropes. Great moment, honestly. Thereafter, shortly after, Yota Tsuji lands a curb stomp, followed by a spear. But Finlay rolls through the spear. He doesn't quite land the spear, rolls through it, and lands overkill, his overkill finisher, and Tsuji kicks out. Then David Finlay goes for another overkill, and this time Tsuji turns it into a powerbomb, follows it up by spear, and gets the victory with the spear. Or as he calls it, what does he call it? The G Blazer or something? Sorry. Anyway, he is the new champion. Yota Tsuji wins the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Fantastic match, and this was match of the surprise of the night, and it was no surprise considering the 2 men that we had in this match. David Finlay is underratedly good, but this was always going to be Yota Tsuji's moment from the start. This was his moment. David Finlay has held the title for a long time now. He's had 2 separate reigns, with obviously Nick Nemeth having a reign in between. But yeah, the final stage of this match we just executed so well, and I think that's why it edges Takeshita and Shingo. Match of the night, and I can confirm that to you right now. The main event did not beat it. Did not beat it. Sorry. Anyway, speaking of the main event, let's move straight into the main event. We had Tetsuya Naito taking on Hiromu. No, sorry, this is not the main event. This is before the main event. This is another match I wish I could forget about. Tetsuya Naito taking on Hiromu Takahashi. Going into this match, I was interested because this is apparently the first and last match that these two will ever have against one another. They have been not tag team partners, but rather they have been partners with each other. They've been in the same faction, mentor and student, for as long as I can remember. The match starts off with pretty basic stuff, and pretty basic stuff for large parts of this match. I'm not even going to go into great detail with this match because this is probably the worst match of the night for me, and it's purely based on not necessarily the action, but the psychology behind the match was not great. The winner was not the right choice in my opinion. The amount of finishes that happened was not right in my opinion. Like, I don't know how many Destinos were land. I don't know how many time bombs. There was at least 3 of each. And I know there were more Destinos than time bombs. And they just kept kicking out of it. And then finally one does get the win as Naito then lands a brainbuster into the Destino for the win. But I did not enjoy this match. Large parts of it were slow. It lacked intensity. The final moments were just finisher after finisher after finisher, completely burying each other's finishes as they kicked out. Naito didn't need the win. Takahashi could have done with the win. Takahashi should have got the win, and there was a moment in this match he should have got the win, and it was after Takahashi landed a Destino onto Naito and then followed up with a time bomb too. That should have been the match done. Great match then, or not great match, but right winner at least. I gave this match 2.25 stars. That's going to seem really, really, really harsh, but I just felt this match was poor. Psychology was off. There was no story to it other than they didn't play the story out as if how the story should have been played out, if that makes sense. You got master versus students. You've got one guy who's clearly the favorite versus the underdog. Play that story, but Takahashi dominated for large parts of the match even. So that completely threw away that story that you could have told there. Did not enjoy it whatsoever. Let's move on to the main event. As well, not the greatest main event I've seen. Zack Sabre Jr., the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, taking on Shota Umino. I thought this was going to be Shota Umino's moment. I guess not, but it's fine. I'm not upset by that because I can see Shota having another Wrestle Kingdom main event at some point and then that being his moment. I can see that happening. That is two different. That is not something that bothers me. What bothers me is the fact that this was a 43-minute match, and I'm pretty sure 35 minutes of this match was spent on the mat by both men, or trading forearms. One of the two. If you combine the time they traded forearms for and the time they were lying down on the mat, you'd get 35 minutes. I'm sure of it. I might even go back and do the maths. Because that was, yeah. You could see this match was going to go long from the very start. Zack Sabre Jr., one thing I did like about this match, the storytelling in terms and the psychology in terms of Zack Sabre Jr. not wanting to target the leg or the back of Shota Umino just yet. He wanted to win this properly, so he's targeting something fresh like the arm of Shota Umino. Because obviously Shota has the hurt ankle. And then later on in the match, he gets really frustrated and then does begin working the ankle when he becomes frustrated and desperate for the win. That was really, really good storytelling, really good psychology that I can really appreciate from Zack Sabre Jr. Umino landed about 25 DDTs in this match. Actually, I think he landed 4 or 5 DDTs in this match. Different variations, a couple tornado DDTs, a DDT on the apron, a DDT on the outside, and he might have just landed one in the ring. Couple DDTs in this match. That was his go-to in this match. The match just felt slow for no reason at times. And I know the reason. The reason was because they wanted to go 40 minutes. That was the reason. But if you can't do it by going at a decent pace like someone like Bryan Danielson can at his age, then don't do it. They went from going to super slow to doing absolutely nothing, borderline barely moving, to fast-paced, quick stuff, and you can't even keep up with it. There's no natural progression to building up. There was no natural progression to building down again. It just was not great at all. I'm not even going to go play by play because most of it was just constantly going to the forearms for strikes. I wrote here, it's getting tiresome. It's like every time they want to slow down now, let's go to some forearms and then someone will get dropped to the floor. It just did not look good. Did not look good. And then when we come towards the end of the match, and we get a tornado DDT by Shota onto Zack Sabre Jr. But then when looking for more, Zack then lands the Zack driver out of nowhere, but he's too slow to get to the pin. So it's back to the slow work, back to lying on the mat. Frustrating. Zack Sabre Jr. then, this is where I wrote, after 25 minutes, gets desperate and starts working the ankle. This was after 25 minutes. This is a 43-minute match. Bunch of other stuff, bunch of Zack drivers, bunch of Death Riders. I think there was 3 Death Riders in this match. There was a couple Zack drivers. Eventually, Zack Sabre Jr. hits the Suzuki pile driver. I forget what it's called now, so forgive me. He follows it up with another Zack driver and gets the win. Yeah, look, I don't know. Maybe people don't feel the same way as me. I don't think you should go long if you can't go long. I don't think going long makes a good match either. I think you can have a 23-minute match, a 20-minute match, a 15-minute match, and be 5 stars. That's what I personally think. You can go 40 minutes and have a 5-star match like we saw at WrestleMania, but this was not it. Far too much lying on the ground. Far too little action when they got up. Far too much of the same stuff when they got up. If I see another forearm exchange, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my damn mind. Frustrating. This show was not what it was in previous years, unfortunately. Not what it was. It didn't have the match that people were going to be talking about for weeks. That was not on this card. Previous years, that was there. Year before, so not last year, the year before, obviously Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Last year would have been Will Ospreay, Jon Moxley, and David Finlay was good. Shingo had a good match on that card, I think. I can't remember what else. The main event sucked with Naito and Sonata. I remember that. Disappointing. Really. Oh yeah, last year we had Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson, I think. There's levels, guys. There's levels. I gave this match... What do I give it? I'm gonna rethink this because I wrote here 4 stars, but I can't give it 4 stars. I think I wrote 4 stars because I was just tired of this match. I can't give it 4 stars. I'm gonna give it 3.75 stars. 3.75 stars. Because at the end of the day, there was some good work, but it just really frustrated me because I know what it could have been and it didn't need to be what it was. So 3.75 stars. Overall, I've just already given my thoughts on the show. Some good matches. 3 good matches. The rest was all right. Lacking that absolutely match of the year worthy match, which we've come to know from Wrestle Kingdom in recent years. But I guess they are in a rebuild process right now since AEW is absolutely destroying them when it comes to taking their talent. And then they go and do shows with them. I'm going on to a whole nother tangent here. But that is for another day. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. 33 minutes. Maybe a little bit less after I do some editing. Not bad. I'm getting that time down considering there were 9 matches on the show. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.